Imagine that your company is wasting millions of dollars per year, not because of bad products or channels, but because the focus of your teams is not in the right place. This is a problem of misalignment between strategy and execution. And if you have this problem in your company, well, you're not alone. There's different studies, one from Harvard Business Review, that have dived into this problem and have found out that although people perceive that strategic alignment is high, people even estimated all the way to 80% alignment, the reality is that when they measure it in the companies, the study found out that it was around a 23% alignment, which is not very good. So the reality is that there's a very big gap between your strategic goals and your current situation, your current status. So in this video, let's talk about what are the reasons for this and how you could start solving them. So although there are many reasons why teams can be misaligned in their execution, I see these ones as the principal ones that are causing the main problems. So the first one is that there is a lack of alignment at the top. Your management team has different goals, and they are not aligning themselves to the common strategy, meaning that their teams are pushing towards different goals. Each team has different goals, and no matter if they set up a common strategy, if the different teams like marketing, sales, development start to create different goals that are not aligned, and especially not aligned to their strategy, that is going to cause problems down the line. The second problem is that there's little to no communication. Very commonly in many companies, what happens is that a strategy is something that happens in one presentation, maybe once per year, and then you get an update to the strategy. And hopefully you remember for the rest of the year when you're prioritizing, when you're planning your work. So a strategy is not part of your daily work, and this is a very big problem. And this is causing that your decisions or the decisions of your teams are going to be disconnected from the strategy. The third big problem is the focus on short term, focus on quick wins. Many teams are going to focus on how they can advance a specific metric, maybe one of the metrics and goals that they have for their own team, but they are not looking at about those long-term goals, the ones that are set by the strategy, the ones that are set by the vision of your company. And this is going to prevent the development towards strategic goals in your company, meaning that you're going to be doing things that are good, maybe for the current moment, short-sighted or short-term, but they're not going to help you advance on the long term towards your vision and your strategic goals. So in order to start closing the strategic gap and opening the strategic opportunities, you need to start doing the next things. First of all, have a clear North Star. Clarify what is your vision, what is your strategy, and this had to be worked together and agreed, especially within a management team, a leadership team, or executive team, depends on the size of the company and how you have it structured, with the help of relevant stakeholders. There's going to be people in the teams, like sometimes a product manager, sometimes some salesperson rep, that are going to be very experts on certain areas and are going to help you build that strategy, understand better what are going to be the areas that are going to help you succeed. All teams also should have shared goals. This, for me, is very important. If everybody is setting then separate team goals, they are not going to be aligned. And this is why having that North Star, having that clear alignment, clear goal and strategies defined to achieve that goal with KPIs, if possible, or OKRs. This is going to be the best way for you to really start aligning your teams. The second one is that you need to communicate this strategy constantly. Just having a good strategy is not enough. You really have to make it present in the life of your people so they can use it to make decisions, so they can use it to really prioritize their work, to understand where they should be putting their efforts. That is going to help bring in that alignment in the teams and keeping the focus on the things that matter for the business, for the strategy, for the goal. And you can do this by reminding people when you're in planning sessions, what are your strategic goals and how your activities, your execution work is actually relating or linking to that strategy. The third one I think is very important is have it visually represented. Some tools for project management allows you to add tags or add opportunities or add goals to the different strategic intents that you have in your company, which can help. But I think that for me, having a visual representation of this is my vision, these are my strategic pillars, intents, and from there, these are going to be the main projects that are going to help you really support those strategic efforts. It helps the teams to understand and visualize really why am I doing something and how this is helping the company strategic work. And also potentially even challenge that, hey, this thing or this activity that I should be doing or this task, whatever it is actually not linked to any strategy. Should I be doing it really? So that's something that it brings that visual understanding of what a strategic goal is and why and how it relates to the daily work that your teams are having. And this one is kind of related to the last two, is that you had to make people part of the strategy. People had to already understand how their work is actually linking to that strategy, how that work that they are doing is actually bringing the business forward, is bringing the vision towards the customer. Some people are going to be motivated by different things. Some people are going to be motivated by growing the business. Some people are going to be motivated by helping customers solve their problems. It is a matter of how to phrase it, and for different people it's going to mean different things. So, but if you are making it clear how your work, your execution work is linking to strategic goals that are helping customers solve their problems, solve their needs, and they are linked then to KPIs that reflect the business impact, you are going to be able to be answering both questions. And why this is important is that because people are going to be much more motivated, at least most of the people, not everybody obviously, but most of the people are going to be motivated when they understand that their work is advancing the strategic work of the company, whether they care more about the customers and how you help them and solve their problems, or whether they care about growing the business. So how can you start moving from chaos to business impact? If you want to measure what is your strategic gap at the moment in the company and you really think that you have potential problem and you want to start changing the ways of working, I have put a course together to help you do a strategic gap analysis to really measure what is that potential gap that you have between your strategy and your execution, how much is potentially costing you and how much would be your opportunity, and how to make a business case for your management team, your leadership team, to really start driving change. Check out the link in the description. If you want to see how I measure the strategic gap that companies with public roadmaps have compared to their strategies, go check out this playlist here. I'll see you in the next one.